Spellbound, Chapter 9. I turned slowly. A Rottweiler stood 10 feet away, growling. Bloody froth dripped from its open mouth. Great. Confronted by a rabid dog the size of a lion. While I'm armed with, I looked down. A pocket light. Adam? I called as loud as I dared. He stepped from the office. Shit. That about summed it up. Hey, Pooch, he called, lifting his glowing fingers. How about you come play with me instead? The dog took 2 lurching steps my way. Adam started forward, then stopped. If I come after it, it might charge you, he said. Then don't come after it, please. Okay, remember how Lucas taught you to handle dogs? With a knockback spell. If you don't have a knockback spell. When I didn't answer, Adam said, okay, Rule 1, and this is going to be really tough for you. Act submissive. Keep the dog in your line of vision, but don't make direct eye contact. Then put your hands in your pockets and, in a firm voice, say no. No? A little firmer. I glowered and did as he said. The dog seemed satisfied that I made an easy, non-threatening target and staggered toward me, bloody drill trailing behind. Drew. I realized then that this pooch wasn't napping. Adam? Creeping up behind the dog, he motioned me to silence. Those survival tips, do they work for zombies too? Zombie. Shit. The dog spun, or it tried to, scrambling awkwardly as it turned around to face Adam. He lifted his glowing fingertips. The dog lunged at him. I dove at it. Adam stepped to the side. The dog kept going, stumbling past him to the office. We stood in the hall, listening to claws scrape on the hardwood, then a thump. The office chair squeaked. Thanks, zombie pup's hungry, I whispered, thinking of Alston's bloody body. I hadn't until you mentioned it. Thanks. I slipped past him to peek into the office. I saw the dog lying in a heap on the floor. Walter Alston lifted his head. That's better, rumbled a voice. The corpse's head turned, eyeless sockets scanned the room. Better being a relative term, it turned toward me. I don't suppose you care to untie me? Walter Alston? Adam said, striding past me. I followed. Even from 10 feet away, we could hear heat radiating from the corpse. Not Walter Alston, I said, and we are so not untying you, demon. A wise choice. I might crawl over and bite your ankles. In case you haven't noticed, child of the lamb, this body lacks working knees, which is why I inhabited the dog. If I wanted to hurt you, I could simply return to that form. Right now, I would prefer the power of speech. You're a demon, I said. You don't need working knees to move, and you don't need me to untie you. Am I a demon? Adam whispered. Right. Possessing the living is beyond the powers of most demi-demons. Some can take over a corpse, though. I don't tell you if you can give me your name and ledge, Adam said. The demi-demon cocked his head, lips pursing. It wasn't as simple as a quest as it seemed. His name could be used to call him again. I was surprised that he seemed to be considering it. Even more surprised when he said Cameron under Angel Mollis. Adam keyed the name into the database on his phone, then pressed it over to me. When I read the entree, it was a lot less surprised. Amalis was a demon duke in the court of the Lord Demon Asmond, Adam's father. Either this demon couldn't refuse Adam, or he feared it might insult his alleged lord. Adam knelt beside Alston's corpse and untied his arms. The demi-demon lifted his bloody hands and flexed them, then folded them into his lap. If you're here to carry through on the bargain, Alston broker, you're going to have to go straight to the source, I said. Unless it's your part that hasn't been completed, in which case you can probably use his death as an excuse for breaking the deal. Cameron smiled, cracking the dry blood on Alston's cheeks. You know all the loopholes I see. Your mother taught you well. I'm not here to fulfill a bargain. I'm a confederate of Walter Alston. I helped him negotiate his deals in return for certain considerations. A very satisfactory partnership that has now apparently come to an end. He tried to summon me without the proper ritual material, and I only heard him as the spirit was winging its way to the other side. His sightless eyes traveled across the room. He did not easily go, it seems, or painlessly. It was a reflection made without pity for his former partner, but no regret either that he missed out on the chaos feast of the death. That was a big deal. Demons feed on chaos, particularly the negative variety. So this was a respectful reflection, which was the best lesson one could expect from a demon. You'll be investigating this then. You and that, he gave a dismissive wave. Counsel. Do you have any idea who killed them? Adam asked. Oh, I know exactly who killed them. I advised as they were leaving I found the dog's course. The beast had been poisoned, but by the time I possessed it, Walter's killers were gone. Did you recognize them? Had they done business with him before? That was the problem. They didn't do business with him before. They asked him to summon a demon to aid their cause, and he refused. They came back to see if he changed his mind. So Austin gets a physic from this through the natural movements. He refuses to help them. Then the guy come back and do this. I waved at Austin's mutilated corpse. Not guys, it was a girl and a girl to use a vinegar. Or more precisely a man and a woman, both being past the age of adulthood. Bullshit. No, I'm certain they were adults, not much older than youth, but adults nonetheless. I mean, the part about his killers being activists. People like that don't do things like this. A possessed Austin pursed his lips. You have a point. Those who argue for their version of a better would never do anything violent. Animal rights activists never bomb buildings. Anti-abortionists never murder doctors. Check it out. He's not just a demon, he's a keen observer of the human condition. So, fine. It's possible these activists would torture and kill Walter Austin. That could be in their nature. But I know what's in your nature, a serious hard-on for chaos. What better way to stir things up than to set the council on these guys? I glanced at Adam for support. Adam hesitated, then said, True, but if chaos is his goal, there's more to be gained for letting their campaign continue. And even more if it succeeds, he looked at Cameron. Why then put us on their trail? You might want Walter Austin's killers caught, but that chaos stack isn't worth sacrificing. The upcoming buffet. Cameron smiled. You inherited Osmani's head for politics. He must be pleased. Yes, the exposure of supernaturals would cause trouble. But there's trouble and then there's trouble. If all demons would love to see it happen, it would have happened already. So you're voting nay, I said. Osmandi is. And you don't disagree enough to vote against your party platform? It's not so much a matter of party politics as personal politics, Adam interceded. You have more to gain personally by helping me stop a campaign that Osmani would like to see stopped. Which brings us right back to Samantha's original point. You have something to gain by setting us on the trail of these people, so why should we believe you? The house is equipped, as you saw, with security cameras. Walter's killers were clever enough to disable most, but there's one they missed. You'll find the recording device in Walter's bedroom. Adam nodded. Okay, we'll get that later. Right now, I'm more interested in which demon the activists want to summon. If Alton went through all that, I pointed at the mutilated corpse. He really didn't want to summon him. More likely he couldn't, Adam said. No matter how pissed off a summoned demon might be, he isn't going to do anything worse to him than that. He walked over to the books scattered on the floor and picked up a journal. So which demon wasn't Austin skilled enough to summon? You could ask me, Cameron said. For a price, Adam leafed it through the journal. I'll limit my questions to you, thanks. In general, a wise practice, but I'm inclined to be helpful here. Walter was an expert. If a demon can be summoned, he could do it. Some are more difficult and dangerous than others, but, as you pointed out, at a certain point during his torture, I'm sure he would have tried, but it doesn't appear that he did. But if he could summon any demon, he said. Adam shook his head. Any demon that can be summoned. That was a problem. They wanted him to summon the unsummonable. That's why he set an impossible price on the job. He couldn't do it. But he didn't want to admit it. Bad for business. What demon is? I stopped. Lucifer. They wanted Lucifer. Contrary to Christian mythology, Christopher is not the king of the demons. He's just another lord demon like Asmani, Balaam, and Satan. But Lucifer is, as the story goes, a fallen angel, and that makes him unique. For one thing, he can be summoned. That might be why Hope's having weird visions, I said. If someone's trying to contact her father, she could be catching the signals. Lucifer's daughter is having unusual visions, Cameron said. Of what? Adam told a little and withheld a lot, which is the best way to deal with demons. Show them a card, but not your whole hand. The last card that he did reveal surprised me. Savannah, he said. She's having visions of Savannah. Cameron hesitated, then he said, "She strongly resembles her mother. I believe it was Eve Levon that Lucifer's daughter was seeing. Was there any associated imagery? Possibly a celestial? I thought of the sword." Adam shook his head. "No, it was definitely Savannah. Hope knows her. So why would she be dreaming of Savannah? There are possibilities. I can say no more than that right now, but I will also say that I'm quite certain she is mistaken. There is a role for Eve Levine in this. And if Lucifer's daughter is seeing her, that may confirm a suspension." "What suspension?" This he wouldn't answer. Just reflected until Adam switched gears and asked why the activist would be trying to contact Lucifer. Again, Cameron only circled the question. He knew something. He wasn't telling us. Adam didn't pursue it. And I was wondering what the hell he was doing when he said, one last thing, "Savannah's magic has disappeared." That got Cameron's attention. Disappeared? Adam told him the whole story, leaving nothing out, then asked, "Do you know who's responsible?" "No." "I'll pay for an answer." I protested, but Adam cut me off and repeated the offer. "Then that is an answer I wish I had," Cameron said. "A chit from Asmondi's son would be most useful. Will the offer stand if I return with the solution?" "No," I said, "we're not." "The offer stands," Adam said, "but I'm not making any bargain before you have the answer. Come back when you do and we'll negotiate." Cameron smiled. "Excellent. I would suggest, though, that the question to consider is not who took the girl's powers, but why they were taken." A blast of hot wind, and Austin's body slumped again as the demi-demon disappeared. When Cameron was gone, Adam bent to untie Austin's leg. "That was really dumb," I said. Adam glanced up. "Excuse me?" "What you just did. He knew something about my mother, and he knew what these guys are trying to summon Lucifer. And you didn't press him on either, because you were saving up your influence to ask about my powers. I don't know whether to hug you or smack you. I'm leaning toward the latter, though. Something big is going on here, and the overall picture and my spells are the least important issue. However, that was the only matter he was going to help with." Adam stood, his stone walled on the other two. "Yes, I could have used my father's name and pushed him, but he won't give good answers if he doesn't want to. Did you see how he reacted when I said your powers are gone? That interests him. That's what he'll investigate for us, because it'll satisfy his own curiosity and earn my favor. As for the best, we need more before we'll get anything out of him." He looked at me. "I do know how to deal with demons, Savannah." "I know. Sorry." "So I get a hug?" "No, but I won't smack you, and we'll call it even." We went for the surveillance video first. That's what we needed most, in that and Austin's journal. When Adam had already stuffed in his pack, we found the recording device where Cameron said it would be. There was no easy way to remove it, so one of us had to watch the video while the other disposed of the bodies. Adam volunteered for disposal duty and seemed surprised when I agreed, but I was thinking that the torture of Walter Austin might be on those tapes. For Adam Bird's mutilated corpse would be bad. Seeing how the mutilation took place would be worse. A noble gesture on my part, but all for nothing. The tape only recorded activity outside the house. Cameron had been right about Austin's killers, a guy and a girl. They took their time getting to the fence, goofing around and laughing before climbing over and disappearing. I snapped still photos of our sadists. They looked in their late to late 20s. He had straight, short brown hair. She had longer, straight brown hair. There was a similarity in their very regular, nondescript features that made me wonder if they were related, or maybe just siblings in Mexico City, at least when it came to appearances. When I was done with the photos, I hurried downstairs to help Adam. Disposing of the body was hated for him. It done him before, but not often, and never with a course as mutilated as this one. It knew. I knew he was thinking of how Austin got that way, of what he'd gone through. However nasty Walter Austin had been in life, he didn't deserve to die like that. No one did. By that time we snuck out the rear door. Each of Adam's years seemed etched on his face. On the way to the car he stayed behind me. So quiet I had to keep looking back to make sure he was there. I still had the keys, so I drove. He didn't say a word for at least a mile. "Straight to a motel or crash?" I finally asked. "Or straight to a motel with a bar across the road, when we could knock a few back before crashing?" He Pick option 2.